Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here now, Scala with POPXP for an exciting night, kicking off our second night of San Diego Comic-Con at home with my man, the myth, the legend, teen sensation. He's never going to get old, people.
I'm pissed
Mr. Billy
off.
Tucci.
I took the teen sensation down because I did another panel, and I'm like, they think I'm stupid.
No, but the teen sensation's right here.
Oh, it's here, isn't
right
it?
Here, and it's right over there.
Oh, hang on. I got my TV on. My other computer's on.
And there we go.
And there we go.
And there we go. Cause it's ladies' night, and feeling right, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Well, anyways, everyone.
Here we go. All right. I should have logged off. So, hello, everybody out there. So, Scala, what a great show we have.
Great show.
We've got a great show because of now.
People are actually tuning in.
People are tuning in.
There's 11.
We got 29 views, 20. We got some hearts already, some Facebook loves. Travis Miller gave us a nice Facebook love. Thank you, Travis. All these ladies here love you that know you. So, Scala, this is awesome. Everyone thinks Comic-Con at home, right? This is our second Comic-Con at home show. Today would be preview night.
Yes.
It's 9:09. It actually would be starting. It would be nuts right now. I knew you haven't been yet, but you really should go if you have the means, Scala. You really should.
I do have the means, and I will
there you
be
go.
Yes.
Well, then you need the drive and the will to go. You and TJ James.
I need a plane ticket, a hotel, and this Corona thing to go away.
Well, there you go. And it'll all be gone next year. So it'll all be good.
Yes.
It'll all be good. But so today's show, we call it Ladies Night. And it kind of the memory jog went with the Booth Babe story that I told on Facebook last week, which made me laugh, which was a lot of fun. But one of the things that especially like us, like independent creators and all, we have these really nice big booths, and someone's got to run it. Someone's got to be the booth boss. Mm-hmm. And I think we have a couple of them here with us today. And if I may start to introduce these amazing ladies,
please.
Why don't we start with the one that doesn't want to come, the one that doesn't want to be on by herself the most, my sissy Kissel. Where are you, Crystal Vandiver?
Right here. Hello,
Kissel. So Kissel works our booth, and she basically her and of course my darling, my better half, my darling Deborah Tucci. Where are you, honey? Hello, honey.
You hear that?
What is that?
Oh yeah.
Oh dang! That's how we roll. And we got another dancing queen right now who looks exactly like, who reminds us all of Anna from ABBA. Ladies and gentlemen, our friend, the queen of Comic-Con, who we like to call, because we joke that Debbie's the Duchess, but it's Francisca Pulido. Francesca, where are you, Francesca? Hello! Of Coffin Comics. And of course, we have our dear, dear friend, who is a professional cosplayer, who actually works for Invicta watches. She was Harley Quinn at a bunch of the shows and all. Where is she, Miss Jennifer Van Dam? And she's gone. I will not Jennifer off. We'll get her back on when I see her. But okay, so then we have our new friend, who's not really our new friend. She's just like a little baby. But she's an amazing cosplayer, designer, and a new friend of ours. Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing, the strong, the fearless Miss Joni Broses. Where are you, Joni? Hey! Where's Jennifer? Jennifer's going to pop on. Jennifer had to reload her thing, so we'll bring it. Oh, shoot, Deb, I just got that.
What? Oh, Billy, don't tear up, Billy. Don't tear up.
This is just so important to me. Is that it, Deb? Fran, is that it?
No. I'm good, Billy. You're doing good.
No strikes. All right. So Jennifer was saying she has to restart her modem, so she'll pop in. And
she's having internet issues right now, so she just sent a message. So I'll wait to see if she pops back in. Here we go. Here she is. Yeah. All right.
So everybody out there, there's Jennifer Van Damsel, who you might know as she's world famous amongst one of her many creations, her many designs. Is she has recently been Harley Quinn for the Invicta Watch Company. So hello, Jennifer. Welcome.
Woohoo!
Did she hear us?
She's frozen.
Frozen.
We'll just let her roll with it. We'll roll with it and see. Because sometimes the
better
stream, like their connections will clear up after a little bit.
That is, Deb, bring on Una. TJ James wants you to do.
Oh.
Can you call Una?
Oh.
Let
me see. Hold on.
Sorry, I keep going in and out.
That's okay.
Okay.
Hold on.
There she is.
Sweet girl.
She can't hear me. Oh, there's Una. She's doing great. And thank you all for all of your thoughts, your prayers, and wishes for our Una's recovery. She's doing great. Not as great as Mama would like her to do, but
Just today. She had just the last couple days. I think she overdid it, but we'll see.
yeah, she just had her leg amputated. What? Less than a month ago, 3.5 weeks ago.
It was 4 weeks. It was 4 weeks 2 days ago.
Okay, yeah. She has osteosarcoma. We found she's our perfect dog, except for this little inch-sized mass that was on her hip bone. So, and unfortunately,
it wasn't even on her bone. It wasn't her hip bone. It was her femur.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't on the bone. It was around the bone.
Billy, just let Eddie talk.
I should just let it go. I should. So, but she's doing great. So she just had her first chemotherapy 2 weeks ago. She has to do 5 more chemo sessions every 3 weeks, and then we're going to take her to Yale University for a treatment that is a self-vaccination, right? Cancer vaccination.
Yeah, it's a canine cancer vaccine that attacks actually, I think, 5 or 6 different types of cancer. Canine cancer and human cancer are identical. So the goal obviously is to eventually get the vaccine to work for people, but they're starting on a canine clinical trial. And so far it seems to work in about 80% of the dogs. So we're hoping that Una's in that 80%.
She is, and she's our wonder dog, so she is. She's awesome. So, anyway, so, well, Francesca, this is your first time on our show.
And you said my name right the first time, Francisca. Billy.
Francisca.
What'd I say?
You said Francisca, and then you go Francesca, and I'm like,
oh, it's Francisca. I said Francesca?
Yeah.
Sorry, Francisca.
I think Billy's just flustered having all these wonderful women on the show.
It is. It's just too much for me. Here we go again.
The whole hand, not the fingers. The fingers don't do anything.
What are you doing?
Dry them.
Why are you doing hands?
Because you dry the tears that way.
It's like a fan. You're drying the tears.
So your mascara doesn't run?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have really
exactly.
And then you're like, what's his name? The guy who played Rosanna Arquette's brother in The Wedding Singer. Remember, he's like, "Oh God." When she left him at the thing. Anyway, Francisca, I apologize. I don't know why I called you Francesca.
All right.
I've known you for 27 years.
27.
26.
How are we that old?
I don't know.
I refuse to believe we're that old.
We all met at the hospital while right after we were born.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing: is because we were younger than Jennifer and Joni when we all met because we were kids. Because Brian and I were in junior high school. We said, let's do a comics, and you were the cheerleader girlfriends who we liked, and you guys said, okay, I'll be your boyfriend. I'll be, you were our girlfriends. You said, okay, we'll help you, and we all went to our first Comic-Con the summer between 9th and 10th grade. How's that one?
Wow.
All good, except I was never a cheerleader. I was on the cheerleading squad, but they told me I couldn't go to my best friend's birthday party, and I was like, really? Oh. And then I was like, you take your pom-poms. My friends are more important than football.
There you go.
I was young.
Yeah, Debbie was in a cheerleader. Debbie was in kick line.
Oh, see, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I was a dancer.
She also wasn't invited to a party, and then there was okay. Well, it's sad. I love these stories. I love all her high school stories.
Billy loves drama.
I do.
He's like an old washerwoman. He loves drama.
What? That's not true, Kissel, is it?
What?
I don't love drama.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, no.
Yes, you do. And the stories change. They change.
What?
Yeah.
Jennifer, you've never heard me gossip or anything like that, or want to tell. She's out. See,
She's like, later.
Joni's like,
I'm not going to listen to him live.
All right,
like that.
Francisca, could you do us a favor and please tell everyone out there? I mean, for those who've been living under a rock for the past quarter century, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I am Francisca Pulido. I am the president of Coffin Comics.
And the queen of comics.
I will take that. Thank you. And formerly, I was the CFO of Chaos Comics during the 90s. So I've been in this industry for over 25 years. And the sun is setting now, and I'm getting a nice sunshine.
I like it. I like it.
It's a great look. Great look.
It's radiant.
Yeah, so I've been doing this for a long time now. And I'm honored to be married to comic book writer and creator Brian Pulido. So
Legend
himself. So Debbie and I are lucky to be married to crazy, artistic, wonderful, powerful men in this industry.
Very true. Very true.
And our powerful women. Now, who are you? Who is the girl in the Cindy Brady box? To the right of the screen, the lower right of the screen. Cindy.
That's
Joni.
You're
Cindy.
Joni. No, Joni. Oh, the girls are on that side?
The girls were on the left, and Joni is the Cindy Brady.
Oh, okay. Well, I always do the funny thing.
He tries to be funny, and it backfires.
I do. I thought the boys were on the left-hand side.
No.
Oh, I like that, Deb. You're queen of the East. I'm queen of the West.
Woo! I'll take it.
And some days they may be the of the West, of the East and the West.
Watch it.
Hey.
Anyway, Joni. Okay, so you're in the Cindy Brady box. Tell us about yourself, Joni. I'm a huge fan, and I know you're. But please tell our friends out there about yourself.
I don't know what I do. I play dress up for a living. That
doesn't suck.
It definitely doesn't suck. Oh my gosh, hold on. I have to show you this because I'm really excited. I haven't really told anybody about it, but I got this made.
Uh-huh.
So it's happening. Don't tell anybody this either. I'm gonna dye my hair black so I could just do this. Mm-hmm. I've been waiting years to do a she cosplay, and I'm so excited.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, I have the whole thing. The bottom. I don't know how this works. I haven't even tried it on yet. But this is the bottoms. Obviously, there's not much, but it's awesome. I got the boots and the arms. There's the arms, the gloves. Look at that.
Oh my god!
Oh wow! You nailed it. Oh my goodness!
I didn't make it. I cannot take credit for this. I can't take credit for it. I had it custom made because I wanted it done right. Because I can wear it. I can't make it. I can wear it.
Rick and I didn't even let that secret out. You told us that in Chicago what you were doing, so Rick and I did not tell. So you're
such a good girl, Kissel.
Kissel, I talk to you like every day. You knew this and you lied to me.
I didn't lie. I just offered the information.
She kept a secret. That's a novel idea for you, my love.
She's got my back.
Deborah,
us ladies stick together.
The perfect she.
Yes. Oh my God, she's going to be beautiful. I can't wait.
Yeah.
But now you have to wait to San Diego next year?
Yes. See, I wanted it for this year and then just next year.
Oh, Joni, you just made
COVID snafu every time.
That's right.
Man, get in the way of everything. But mostly now I just play dress up at home. I take pictures and share it as much as I can. I've been streaming on Twitch now because I feel lonely. So I feel like I hang out with friends on Twitch. So that's been fun.
Never too late for that. Never ever.
What a great idea. Maybe we do it for the Haikyo story.
Haikyo cover. Yep.
Our next campaign, which is launching, I have to talk to you, Fran, to see if you guys are launching in September and when. Because we're
launching our next Lady Death, Treacherous Infamy in August.
Okay. First of all, what's the name? You guys have the greatest titles ever.
I know, and they're usually pronounced. It's Treacherous Infamy.
Treacherous
infamy.
infamy.
Yeah, it's pretty
Sexy.
great.
I like
Yeah, so yeah, we'll
Very foreboding.
in August.
that's
Well,
so
then-
soon.
Yeah, well, Joni, we're gonna launch our She Hikyo September 2nd, honey, right? I think that's it.
That's the goal if I don't sleep between now and then.
Fran, but Fran, we have, you know how I am going to add a new level to the Indiegogo because the Kickstarter's over, but the Indiegogo is still in demand.
Yeah.
And I have to, and I just know how you guys work and how hard you ladies work on this. I think I'm going to add a goal. I'm going to take a picture of Debbie when she's surrounded by all these boxes and bubble wrap,
Which happens frequently.
Yeah.
and it's going to say, "Buy Debbie a glass of wine."
Yes.
At
I
the amount of
prefer a
backers that you
margarita,
guys,
but I'll take it.
the amount of backers that you guys have on your She Kickstarter, congratulations, amazing.
Thank
You're going to need a lot more than a bottle of wine.
I said a glass.
Like I said, I'm a tequila girl. Bring on the margaritas.
So you say, "Buy Debbie a margarita."
Yes,
Fran,
buy
what
Debbie a
are you
margarita.
what are you drinking, Fran?
Bullet bourbon.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, don't you give me your scotch. Don't
Yeah.
you do that again, Billy.
That's right. So she didn't like my single malt scotch.
It's not for everybody.
I
I
love
can't
you.
drink scotch
I love
anymore
your
either.
scotch.
Kissel, you love my scotch, don't you?
I don't drink with you guys no more. I get in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I get in
I
way
like
too
it.
much-
Nothing is more Talk
No.
about a fun Comic-Con story. Kissel
Oh no.
drunk at Comic-Con is always fun.
Oh no.
She's like, no, don't do it. No, no, no.
Boys, I'll never live that one down.
Oh my God, we had so much fun that night, though.
Was that
We
your
did-
ladies' night?
So for yes, exactly. So every Comic-Con, Billy has a men's night on Saturday night, and when I'm feeling up to it, because sometimes I'm just like, yes, sleep. I'm just gonna
Exactly.
sleep Saturday night. But when the stars align and the right people are around, we do a ladies' night. So last year we did a ladies' night, and Kissel got cronked, and it was fabulous. It was fabulous.
It was embarrassing in the bathroom, I heard. It was
No, it
embarrassing.
was not. It was wonderful. I smiled ear to ear for like about 4 hours straight. It
Oh,
was
gosh.
phenomenal.
That's
Phenomenal.
awesome.
Did you take a picture, Crystal? Because Crystal's got these giant, like, ice blue eyes. And was her eyes all big and wide, and then she just smiled, laughing and stuff.
No, they were kind of half closed.
Ooh.
Because the next morning I'm coming
I
down
don't want to
work
turn away.
and I have my sunglasses on and I have my nice black coffee, and Billy goes, "Deb, get down here quick. Kissel can't work. She's not feeling well." I said, "I got this." It was bad.
Is that at Roy's?
Well,
It started at
it started-
Roy's.
Oh, dang.
and then I started running around in the hallway by myself in the hotel.
That's the best.
No, you weren't by yourself. You were going back and forth between your room and my room.
I was running back and forth, going in the elevator, yelling, and yeah,
It was very
nice.
fabulous. Very
Top
fabulous.
floor of
it was fun.
Now,
Do you remember the days of doing the top floor of the Hyatt?
Yep, top of the Hyatt.
Hyatt.
Top of the Hyatt, man.
Absolutely. That's when we would take Debbie's sister Lauren up with us, too. Sneak her in.
Everybody was at the top of the Hyatt. It's just like, I don't know if the fans knew exactly who would end up at the Hyatt every night. It was just, the 90s were a blast at Comic-Con.
It was.
Yeah. Once the
wasn't-
fans figured out top of the Hyatt stopped, because
Yeah.
then it was, you couldn't walk in there anymore, because then you had all the exhibitors and all the fans, and it was just a disaster. So people found other places after that.
I
Now,
remember we were at one bar one night. I don't even remember what the bar was, but it was like everybody was there, and I look over in the corner, and there's Frank Miller,
yeah.
Ooh.
right? And it's just like, right? It was just like,
We've officially made it. It's Frank Miller.
right. It was just such a really crazy time back in the 90s where you would just show up to these little bars, and it's just like, there they all are. Like, there's Neil Gaiman, there's Frank Miller, or it's like, there's Stan Lee quietly sitting in a corner, and you get to sneak up to him and talk with him, and then he kisses your hand, and you're like, Stanley,
Excelsior.
Yes.
Well, really early on, I think it was like 93, I was in line getting a hot dog, because who doesn't want nutritious food while you're at a convention? In line, and there's an older gentleman in front of me, and I'm just waiting in line, and Jason Mewes was there too, so I'm like, this is cool, there's Jason Mewes, and the older gentleman turns around, he's like, hello, hero, and I'm like, oh my God, Stanley, but in line, at the concession stand, he just turned around, he was just darling, and he just like put his hand down, he's like, hello. So I got to shake Stanley's hand one time and then have him kiss my hand another time. So I feel very blessed and honored.
Wow.
Now Debbie has a similar story from '94.
Whoa.
Right? Because
it's actually kind of the flip side story. So here's our first
Comic-Con was '94.
And I was on the concession line getting lunch for us. Was it like the Friday or the Saturday? I don't remember which day.
I don't know.
But albeit it was well underway and crowded. And I don't even know what started it, but the woman standing in front of me and myself had a lovely conversation that somehow led to the discussion of Dobermans. We had a Doberman right before we were married. They had Dobermans. This lovely lady by the name of Joan, and we just had this great conversation. And I was in the textile market while Billy was doing all this, and took vacation time to come help him. So I had a lot to learn about comics at the time. And so I come back with my little cardboard boxes of lunch, all happy because I made a friend. And I told Billy that I met this lovely woman, and even though I had to be online forever, we had this amazing conversation, and we talked about Dobermans, and only Doberman people understand Dobermans, yada, 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 yada. And about a half hour later, while Billy's got his head down signing, I see my new friend Joan arm in arm with what I'm assuming is her husband. And I go, Billy, there's my new friend Joan. And Billy's jaw drops.
They come over she's bringing her husband over.
To meet me, and Billy's jaw is now around his knees, and he's like, Deb, that's Stan Lee.
I'm like, holy
shit. And I'm like, who's Stan Lee?
Yeah.
Joe, my new friend.
Aww.
So they spent 10 minutes chit-chatting with us. We had a lovely time, and he just couldn't believe how that all turned out. So it was a great way to start my comic career.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Fran, I don't know if you knew everything about comics. Debbie knew nothing. I think Debbie knew you. Debbie met you.
I met her there too. I knew no one.
Yeah.
I knew Buzz, and that's it.
Yeah.
I
knew Buzz. And Billy.
So I was familiar with comic books, so just the normal stuff, Batman, because I like Batman. But I just like geekdom. I'm a giant monster movie fanatic. So I'm not a normal, typical girl. Yeah, right. So yeah. So for me, when I met Brian, it was just like, cool. Yeah. Comics are cool.
I saw your pictures from high school, and you were like,
I saw that. I was a Penny. That's good. That was good. I love you, Brenda. I was Penny.
That's awesome.
Star Wars. Because here's a funny story. Now, Joni, you're a lot younger than us. Not that we're old, but I think you grew up in comics as a different age. And I'm going to post a video right now in a minute. Niall, do you have it queued up? Because I can grab it if you don't have it.
I can cue it if you want while you're talking.
Yeah, if you want to share the screen and do it. But so comics were very different 25, 26 years ago when we broke in. Very different.
Yeah.
And they were even more different 5 years before that, because when we were in college, I took Debbie to the New York Comic-Con in New York City at the Penta Hotel.
Wow.
And I was all and you had everyone there. I mean, Frank Frazetta wasn't there, but all the big names. You know, Stan Lee was there, and it was just a sausage factory. And all the fans were guys. And here comes Debbie walking in with me. It was a Saturday. So Debbie did every Saturday, which is exactly how she looked every other day of the week. She had her hair was big and out, and she had probably stonewashed jeans on and probably heels. And she's like, "Oh, we'll go to the Penta Hotel." How long did you last?
Oh, 10 minutes.
If that?
Maybe. Like later.
She was like being bumped into then. And she's like, "Oh my God, ew, oh my God." And she's just like, "I got to get out of here." And I'm like, no. Like, no. You stay. I'm like, "Are you breaking up with me?"
No, I'm just breaking up with comics.
You have fun. I'll see you later. I'm like, "You sure?" This is
Later.
Hey, at least she made the effort. I'll be like,
Yeah,
my wife,
not
I'm like,
my
"Hey,
idea
can you?"
of how
No.
to spend a Saturday. You know, I had people bumping into me on the subways all week long.
Yeah.
Saturday, I'm not going to sit there and be bumped into all day.
And she was the only woman there, Fran. The only one. It was like going to.
Yeah, comics were very different then.
Who did we go see a few years back? Judas Priest. Were you the only girl at that too?
I was the only girl at a lot of things. I was a trooper. Whether you don't give me enough credit for what I put myself through.
I know.
What year was that at the
Phil,
Pen?
80,
90.
What?
Oh, what's going on?
Wait, yeah, put it down real quick, Niall. I think it was 19.
Was it that early?
Fran, right? 88, 89. We were still in college.
We were.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were out of college.
No, not that. Nope. That was a Star Trek show. We're not going to talk about that one.
I love Star Trek. Let's talk about Star Trek, please.
Okay, why
I
does
love Star Trek too.
why does Captain Kirk always blow up the Enterprise?
Oh, because he can.
I say that,
Yeah.
and some guy got really angry at me.
Oh.
Now, Joni, because I want to get to Crystal, but Joni, how did you get involved in comics and doing cosplay? And because you always are a breath of fresh air when you show up at our booth. And thank you for always coming by every year and like, hey, and you do Mary Jane Watson, and you do so many different things. So
it's funny because it's perfect because I started in Star Trek. I adore Star Trek. I'm obsessed with Star Trek. It's my favorite thing in the whole planet, world, universe. But I started as an Orion slave. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Wow.
Yep.
I painted myself green. I'm like,
Green,
I'm going
yeah.
all out, super nerdy. Let's go. And I actually got hired by one of the booths there. I was just, go and talk to people, and they're like, "Hey, will you model for our booth?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So, because I was there as a fan, and if I could get paid there too, that would be awesome. So I did that, and one of the people there was a photographer. They helped me build my portfolio, and then I just mixed the two. I wanted to be a model, and I realized that I could also be a nerdy model. So I just mixed the two, and here I am, almost 10 years later.
So you were 9 when you started?
I am 28 now. So
Oh my God. You got
Oh my
That
God.
a baby.
it's still little. But yeah, I started when I was around like 18, 19. Yeah.
And now you're going to be our she. Off Deb. How about
awesome.
Oh, Jennifer,
So
we missed you.
excited.
Jennifer, if your
Oh, I love
internet
her.
does come back, please join us. Just pop in, okay?
Oh, she's the kindest person. Oh my goodness. She was one of the people I met at San Diego Comic-Con too. And she's so nice. She made me feel so welcome. I have a hard time feeling welcome in places. So it was just so nice to meet her.
How is that possible?
Yeah, you are so nice. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. It's probably myself. I just get in my own head that I'm like, oh, people hate me because I hate me. So
Oh, no.
No.
no, I'm just scared of people, I guess. And then I'm like, oh, did I look at them wrong? Do they think I hate them? I hope they don't think I hate them. And then my brain just spirals. We're all a little weird. So that's my weird.
So do your costumes give you courage?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I think that's my favorite thing about cosplay is that you kind of take on these roles. For instance, I'm really, really excited for that because she's like a samurai warrior, and she's like, "Argh!" like she'll kick your ass. And so I wouldn't, but she would. So if I dress up as that, you kind of, you live in that costume, you wear the costume, you feel like a different person, you feel stronger, more powerful, more intimidating. And that's what I love about cosplay is you get to take on the features that you like about these costumes and these characters, and kind of hopefully it carries on into the real world where you can have those more, you know, confident moments. So I love cosplay for that.
What was your first San Diego Comic-Con?
I think it was my first and only one. That was when I went to meet Billy. That was my first one and my only one. I haven't been back since.
Wasn't that last year?
Maybe the year before that. Was it last year or the year before that?
Oh, they all turn into a blur.
Yeah.
Diddly-doo, diddly-doo, diddly-doo,
Yeah.
diddly-doo.
I know.
Years ago.
Here I go again.
Hey, Joni, if you don't mind me asking, how have you like adapted with everything going on with all the shutdowns and not being able to go to conventions?
It's been weird, but thankfully, a lot of my business runs at home. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that I'm missing out on is kind of the exposure part of business, you know, going to conventions, getting to meet people, letting them see who I am, and, you know, getting to talk and make those kind of personal connections. It's kind of hard when you don't get to travel and see those people and they get to see the person behind the costume. So I moved to Twitch because of that, just to be able to interact with people, talk to people. And that's actually helped my sanity a lot, because not being able to, you know, interact with people and friends and even family, it's tough. And I never realized how much of a people person I was until I didn't have them anymore. And I was like, I got super depressed. I stopped being creative because I was like, I'm alone and I'm sad and everyone around me is sad and I don't get to see those people and hug them and love them and tell them that everything's going to be okay. So when I started streaming Twitch, and you'll see them in the comments, shout out to my Joe Bro fam. They're so interactive.
Bros. I love that.
Yeah, I want fans. I want fam. I want a family of people, a community of people. So it's been fun. They've kept me sane. I've kept them sane. And yeah, that's what I've kind of replaced conventions. And I'm hoping someday conventions will come back, and then I'll be able to see them in person. But this is all I have for now. So Twitch has been wonderful for that.
It's also interesting, and Kissel, I'm sure that you'll agree to this, and Fran, I mean, we are a family, you know, it's so great. And it would be tough to go to Comic-Con without, you know, we're huggers, right? You know,
Yes,
Fran,
me
too. You know, how can we not, like, you see Sergio Aragones, I don't know what he hugs everyone, you know?
Yeah.
It's him, and he's just like, oh, my friend, and it's just sad, but it is what it is. But we'll all be back next year.
Yes.
And
I'm going to hug the hell out of people. Be prepared. There's going to be so much hugging.
Jennifer's back.
Oh,
Jen.
Okay.
All right. So Niall and Cute. Speaking of babies, we have one of our other our other youngins in here. I'd like to play this, Fran. I don't know if you saw this yet, but this is from San Diego Comic-Con 1994 when we were covered by NBC News, and you're gonna see Debbie, you're gonna see Francisca, and you're gonna see how Comic-Con was back then, and they get some things wrong, obviously, but it's a lot of fun, and we were also on E Channel. If you remember that, Fran, they put us on the E Channel too. We were on E Entertainment. Yeah. But someone had copied this for me and sent it to me, so that's why there's a little bit of lines and all. But I don't know if you want to let it roll. Let it roll.
Let's let it roll.
From KNSD, Denise Yamada, Roland Smith, and Joe Lazaro Weather. KNSD First News at 4.
Hello, everyone. I'm Margaret Radford, in for Denise Yamada. As Move Over Superman, it no longer takes a male superhero to knock down the enemy. We visited the San Diego Comic Convention today and found that more and more comic heroes have brawn, brains, and
breasts.
The convention always draws a crowd. People can't wait to get their hands on Superman, Spider-Man, and she.
Yay!
Her name means death in Japanese, and she's hot.
Because she's not a bimbo. She has intelligence. She has depth. She does not have the balloon boobs and the curvaceous body. She's realistic.
Some people might dispute that, but the fact is, readers love her. And the growing number of fit and mighty don't mess with me powerhouses.
Oh yeah, I like tougher women. You know, I'm not like more independent type women.
The independence of them, because they don't need a man to bring them through everything. So.
Lady Death certainly doesn't need a man to help her solve problems.
Right.
In an obvious way, she stands out from the others.
Yeah, very well endowed. Very much so. We hear everything. Lady Death's back hurts, and all sorts of other rude things. But once they read the story, they realize that she's very cool and she's more than a breast. Or two breasts, or just one big huge one.
The stories are really well written. They give them a brain and things that weren't there 20 years ago. But they still the sex is there because sex sells.
But their creators, nearly all men, deny practicing a sex sells strategy.
She does show skin, but I think tastefully. I mean, I'm going to keep the comic book tasteful.
Personally, and that there's nothing more beautiful in the whole world than the female form. Wonder Woman has kept her form for some 50-some years, but some things never change. Teen boys are the primary readers of comic books, and many don't really like girls.
I think is a little bit more acceptance for female heroes than there was, but still it's not an equivalent balance. I think it's reflective of our readership and sometimes of our creative pool, still being primarily male.
Then again, Superman never had a swimsuit issue.
That's right.
Woo! The San Diego Comic Convention runs through Sunday at the San Diego Convention Center.
That was so exciting. Oh my God.
And they don't like girls.
Oh, there we go. There we go. We got new babies.
And we have a brand new swimsuit issue out right now.
Perfect timing.
That's awesome. TJ, could you throw the Coffin Comics their website, their store up, please, so everybody can see that?
I love that.
The sun is so bright.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
There she goes. Look what she's doing. Can you see?
I can't see a thing. I'm blinded.
All right. Well, Fran, I'm going to ask. Oh, I like that. Now you get it.
Oh.
What?
Now, I have a question to ask both you and Debbie.
Yes.
And there's a few things I've taken from this video, and we have to address them. One, Fran,
yeah.
Did you pick a chicken pox between your eyes?
Yes.
You have a chicken pox scar. I had the same exact chicken pox scar.
Aw, how old were you?
Second grade.
So I was, let's see, we moved to this country in 68. So I'm probably around the same time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because Debbie, what is that? Who's calling you?
Nope.
Blinded by the light.
Blinded by the light, bro.
Now, honey, don't you have one too?
Do I have many.
You have a chicken pox peck right there as well. And I noticed what I
No,
noticed.
I don't have it in the same spot as she does.
No, yours is over on your cheek.
Yes.
Yes, because actually, I don't know if I loaded it up in the brand. Hope I did, and I wasn't dumb enough to not do it. But I didn't do it. Dang it! But there's
what
the
didn't you do?
of how adorable you guys are. I'm gonna load it up. But I saw your chicken pox, and you know me, honey. I'm obsessed with scars. Unfortunately,
but I also have a scar
Let's
on
all
that side
leave
of my
for a minute.
face that people think is
Let
from
them
chicken
talk.
pox. That was from when I was little that I fell into a baby carriage.
Oh my.
Nice. I have one on my lip that I got from when I fell on a cash register drawer. My mother did all the bookkeeping for my father's business, so of course I do all the finances for our business. But yeah, so I landed in the corner, and I have a scar there. So
I have scars for days.
Yay, it's Amanda!
Bill, this calls for one of these right now.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi. So here, I think I have like a bad connection.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I have a bad connection.
Well, just talk. I know you're busy, and I hope I wasn't being a pain in the ass. I'm just like, oh, just join us if you can, just for a few minutes.
I'm closer to the router. Hold on just a second. Let's see. Let's see if you can hear me better.
We'll see Jimmy and the buff walk by.
I know.
Nice.
Evening, all.
Well, you said it was all ages, Neil.
It is. No, not all ages.
No.
Well, above.
Yes, above certain ages.
Above ages.
Above certain ages, but for below the upper ages.
Upper ages.
Now she's.
You know what? I'm gonna cut. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
It's almost like a
Amanda.
scary movie.
Yeah.
He's right behind me.
I'll be back.
It's Jimmy and the buff again.
And that was Amanda Connor, everybody.
What a surprise.
I dressed up like the Trix Bunny on the cereal box.
Aw, darn. Nope.
Jimmy's not. Well, I found video of me and Jimmy and Amanda from Comic-Con 1996.
Wow.
So we had the block party. Remember, Fran, we did that block party thing. We had all the New Yorkers. We had this gigantic booth. It was Harris Comics, Event Comics, Harris the Vampirella. Jimmy and Amanda had their Event Comics. And Amanda was at Event, and she was at our booth too because she did the Tomoe series.
Ooh.
And oh my God, it's just so much fun. Yes, there's the Vampy. That's the original. That's the Gonzalez painting, right?
So beautiful.
So we're going to show that next week. We got to show that'll be another trip down memory lane. But it was, again, like just speaking of babies and how young we were. And you know what's so funny is that, do you remember we got in and we didn't know anybody. We didn't care, right? You know, Deb and Fran, we didn't know anybody. We just.
Nobody.
There she is.
There we go.
And then do you remember when
I can hear you every.
Say what? Fran, I'm sorry, Fran.
Do you remember when we all blew up at the same time? Do you remember when we all blew up at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And then there was a point at San Diego where like Billy was huge, Chaos was huge. It was insanity. And our booths got so swamped that they made us move to the autograph area, which sucked because we really loved being at our booth. That's where we played the music. Yeah. That's where we had our smoke machines. That's where all the shenanigans happened. And they moved us. And I remember we were all like, fuck you, don't move us.
Yeah.
Trying to sit up on the table. He's like, ah. But
Fran had like 500 Chaos Comics fans, and Brian did singing. Were you singing like "God Bless America" something? As they were marching them from the booth, almost as this defiant moment. You know what I mean? And everyone started singing, and they were moving you guys to the autograph area.
But again, it was great back then because they wouldn't let us guys be us, right? We were young, we were rowdy. We worried about what our hair looked like and what we were wearing and how cool we were. And, it was just so much fun, how late we could stay out and party. And, it was just like, what bar are we going to next? Who are we going to fight with? We're making fucking comics.
Hanging out with Gene Simmons.
Having a blast.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Well, here's a time, and here we are, right? Again, before Jennifer and Joni were born. And Crystal wasn't part of our crew yet, but Crystal was doing Baywatch, so we'll get to that story, Kissel.
What? Whoa!
So anyway,
Everything stay in the vault.
but here's the thing that we had. I remember, and we just showed a video, Amanda, from San Diego, 1994. And there's Patty Jarris over at DC, and there's Patty talking about it was all about how these female characters are exploding, and is the comics industry ready for it, type of thing. And it was crazy. But here we were that we had Debbie and Francisca running our booth. You had Amanda doing Vampirella, then she was doing the Tomo book. Here's Amanda, this skyrocketing artist, one of the best artists in the industry.
Yep.
And they didn't know how to handle that. Like, so there is Amanda at the Harris booth, and then she'd go to the event booth, and then she'd go to the Crusade booth when we all had that block party, Amanda. And
I was booth.
Now, here's Image Comics, and here's Marvel Comics. So Marvel Comics is throwing out free trading cards. And there are people killing each other in front of the Marvel booth, right? And the Image Comics guys are doing it. And it's okay for them to have this crazy stuff go on. But if Billy Tucci brings Tia Carrera, or as a taiko drummer, or if Brian Pulido and Fran have their smoke machine and their rock and roll, the heavy metal music crank, that's not allowed. And then they have to move us over to the autograph area. And then
the autograph area was horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know what they had. I remember feeling like they didn't like us for some reason, and I couldn't figure out why. We were fun, and we were, getting all the energy up and everything, but for some weird reason, they were just like, we can't have that, and I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, because I remember in '94 they put Fran. If you remember, we were in the Independent Pavilion, and the Independent Pavilion at that point was like, well, here's all the real comic companies. And then here's everybody else, the rest of them. Now, Brian and Fran were in small press the year before that. I met Brian at I don't know if he had a 3-foot table or a 6-foot table, and Brian was the first and only pro that liked my work and treated me like an equal, even though I was somebody who just wanted to break into comics. I met all of these really arrogant DC and Marvel editors. And honey, you remember when I came home, I was pissed, but I was inspired. And I was talking about this guy I met, and he's from New Jersey, but he lives in California now, and he's doing his own comic. And he told me, why don't I do my own comic? And I'm like, we're going to do a comic. And Debbie's like, okay. Sure.
Alrighty.
We were too cool for that room of nerds, Jimmy says. And they basically wanted to shut us down. The same thing with the block party. You can't have we had a loudspeaker. What's that called, Deborah?
Megaphone
with a siren. Apparently we can't have it.
I wasn't there for that one.
Oh, that's right. You weren't there for that one. You had to work.
Oh, that one.
No, that's not where I was.
That's all my fault. Joni, you don't know about it.
Billy.
No.
So what other fun did you have at convention?
So anyway,
I remember one reason they closed us down is because we had the police lights going, and then we had strobe lights.
No.
and that was just it for them. All the security came over with the headsets and the things, and they came over and they're like, you can't have strobe lights. And we're like, what? Like, people are going to have seizures. And we're like, yeah! That's now adult will be like, oh, I'm sorry, we'll just shut those off. Back then we're like, so yeah. So it's
seizures are head banging.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were. I remember. It's like we would all stay up until like 4 o'clock in the morning because we didn't want to miss anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now
sleep was definitely overrated then.
Amanda, do you remember, as Francisca was talking about, do you remember the top of the Hyatt bar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I remember the top of the Hyatt. I remember the little barbecue place across the street.
Kansas City Wings?
I think it was Kansas City Barbecue, or what was that place?
The one that Top Gun was in.
Yeah. I think, yes.
And then we went to Cabo. Remember Cabo was there?
We lived at Cabo. There was always a party at Cabo.
Well, and then we went, and now it's so funny, like being from New York, and we had friends took us out to the spaghetti factory. Remember, Deb?
Oh yeah.
It was on my birthday too.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Terrible.
Deb is like,
Wasn't it Diamond that had a party every year in Cabo Cabo?
Yes.
Wasn't it Diamond?
Yes.
So we were there every year.
And that's where we met Gene Simmons, when Gene Simmons was hanging out with us.
No, we met Gene Simmons. I don't remember the name of that place. It was in it was small, and there was a back room.
Oh, and apparently Debbie and Gene Simmons hit it off, Jennifer.
Oh. Gene Simmons made me cry.
Oh, did he?
Oh.
Why?
What?
How?
Do tell.
I hated him to begin with. Now I'm really mad. What did he do to you?
Well, I was younger, right? So I was younger in the industry back then, and we went to a show, and it was when they were still doing their acoustic stuff, and Brian had worked with Gene on some music videos in LA, and they talked comics all the time, blah 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 blah. But at one point, Brian kind of pushes me up to the front, and Gene pulls me up on stage, and he he's like, oh, like doing that thing that guy's doing.
That Gene did a lot.
And I'm a businesswoman, so I go into the sales pitch. I'm like, hey, Gene, Francisca Pulido, Chaos Comics, wanted to talk to you about the possibility of doing a comic book. Blah, blah. And he goes like this. And he looks down, he sees Brian, he's like, oh, all right, here's my number, but call me. So I followed up and I called him, and he just started railing me, like railing me where if I was getting those questions now, I'd totally be able to handle it. But getting those questions back then, I was like, and just worshiping the ground that Kiss walks on for me was, so it was just kind of like, he's like, who are you? And what do you guys even think you could do? You're not Marvel. And I'm like, Billy. Oh my God. So he made me cry, and we didn't do their comic book. So,
well, Amanda, were you there when Debbie met Gene Simmons with John Romita Jr.?
Nice.
What an asshole!
Tell Fran, tell the audience out here. Now,
okay,
you got it.
All right. So Billy doesn't do this often, but there are certain people Billy goes gaga over, and Gene Simmons was one of them. I don't go gaga very often. People are people. They put their pants on one leg at a time, whatever. So I was very bored while Billy and John Romita and a whole bunch of other people were going gaga over Gene Simmons. And I was kind of standing off to the side with my cocktail, chewing on my stir. And I don't know, 10, 15 minutes into the conversation, he calls me over and tells me how he'd like to be the stir. And I kind of vomited in my mouth because you can see the nasty toupee on his head that's stuck there. And
ew.
So I just kind of rolled my eyes and walked away. And he said a few other crass things in passing, and I just really was not having it. So turns out that John Romita and a few of his cronies decide they're going to ask Gene to go to a strip bar with them, which he obviously acquiesced. And at the strip bar, this is where you want me to go with this story, right, Billy?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
And then,
sure.
So they go to their strip bar and whatever, and the next day, John Romita comes by. John Romita Jr. comes by our booth.
John Romita Sr. went to a strip jar.
Yeah, that'd be funny, right? I just wanted to make sure I was being clear.
What kind of bar is that?
We're like, oh, so how was last night? And he's like, you're not going to believe this. He says, so
that son of a bitch.
We get a table right up by the stage, and who'd have thunk it? But Gene Simmons goes out with no money, zero. So he nudges Johnny Jr. and says, you got some singles for me? And John hands him $60. Which was very nice of him.
A wad.
Well, it wasn't all in singles, but he hands him $60.
Right.
And Gene Simmons, being Gene Simmons, calls the current lady over and takes all 60 and puts it in her shoe.
And then goes, he goes like this.
And it goes like this. And John just said, "You just took $60 of mine to put it in her shoe all at once."
And the girl was like,
he was very unhappy and left shortly there.
And the girl probably thought he put like $500 in because he's Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Right.
He's so serpentine and he just looks like a lizard.
$60 in her shoe.
That's so tacky.
What a dickhead.
Oh, everything about that.
He really, and it's funny because I ran into him a few years later in an airport, and he was just as much of a jackass then that he was at that night. So, whatever. He's not my favorite person.
Well, he's like, because I was like, oh my God, this is Gene Simmons.
And I like Kiss music. I should put in there. I love Kiss music. I just don't like it.
that live album cover. Their live album cover. The back cover of that is at Nassau Coliseum. Is like 4 of my friends in that picture. Just saying.
This was my first concert in 1973.
Kiss in '73 when you were 4 months old.
I was a baby. They brought me in. I still had the umbilical cord on. It was
there you go. Yes, absolutely.
You were a rocker, a metalhead from that day on.
Love that.
So Jennifer, you still with us?
Yeah, I just have my mic on. My camera won't start. So
do you want to try to get it to work? Because Amanda, we have our Jennifer here who was Harley Quinn. Remember at the Invicta booth? And she was mobbed.
I remember.
What was that like, Jennifer, to be there at the booth and you were just, oh my God, and you had a kidney infection, I think, right?
yeah, that was cool. I had just gotten a kidney infection, so the day before the con started, I was in the hospital the entire day.
Ooh.
But I was like so excited to go to the convention that I was like, oh well, put on my pants, let's do this thing. And cosplayed the whole weekend, and I felt fine after I got on antibiotics. I was actually like totally fine. But yeah, meeting Jimmy and Amanda again, wearing Harley Quinn, I like legit cried. And I was going through my art the other day, and I have their Invicta limited edition poster that they gave, and they each had drawn Harley Quinn on it for me.
Aww.
So I would just like cried again the other day, like going through that. It was amazing.
You know what I found the other day? I found my Amanda Connor trading card.
Ooh. What? Is it a picture of Amanda?
Yeah, but it's literally a card. What year was that, Amanda? Was that 2 years ago that you guys did those?
We did we did the Invicta signing at New York Comic Con when Jen was there. That was 2018. Yeah, 2018. Yeah. So and I the cards. Yeah, the little cards. I think.
Yeah, the little trading cards.
The cards were made.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got my Amanda Connor card.
Do you have one of these, Fran?
Well, I don't know, honey. You guys show me what it is. Ooh. What is it?
Oh,
Foil card?
I need one.
Chromium, baby. Debbie, look at that. Debbie's like, oh God.
I need one of those signed.
Keep mine in my wallet.
I'll give you one signed. I'll send actually all of you ladies after this show for being on the show. We'll get a Billy Tucci 1997 trade comic.
Do I have to have one?
So, Deb, I have a question. So Debbie, when people find out who you are, do they go like they find out who you are? They know like you run a certain aspect of the business and the whole bit. Do they then just go? You ever get this one? Oh, you're the wife.
Oh, all the time.
The wife.
Ooh, the greatest thing for me is to be.
Yeah, I sit by the pool all day, don't you?
Yeah. I love it. I mean, in my personal life, my greatest honor is to be Brian Pulido's wife. But in business and the comic industry, I run it. Like Brian does all the creative, I do all the financing and the printing.
Just like we do. Yep.
Yeah. So what's that like? Because like in our business, I do the creative and the business.
Oh, really?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. Amanda's like, oh, he did not.
You got to see me trying to do that. Amanda, I think you and I tried to do math together one time. And then we talked, and I remember when I was saying with my AD, I'm like, oh, well, with my, and this is not too long ago, Amanda, if you remember, I'm like, oh, with my ADD, and she's like, wait a minute, stop. I think you said, I have ADD, meaning you. You said, you have ADHD. And I'm like, me? And you're like, you are the, if you open a dictionary with ADHD, there's a picture of you right there.
Wait, can I say something about our current setup at San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Coffin Comics has a corner booth, and we look straight across at Deb and Billy and you guys.
We're
right?
diagonal.
We're all looking at you guys.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing is Crystal, Debbie, everybody comes in and they set up that booth and they work their ass off, and it looks amazing, right? Brian and I will sit there because we get there 3 days ahead of time and make sure everything's set up. So we're just like eating and watching everybody set up. So they get everything set up. It looks amazing. And then here comes Billy. It's all fucking wrong. All wrong. You gotta do the whole thing. It's opening in 5 minutes and Billy wants to redo the entire booth.
Well, I mean, in my defense, first of all, Debbie, we get there early, and Debbie and Crystal kicked me out of the booth.
There's a reason.
We've been doing this for a quarter century, Amanda, and every setup at San Diego, you know where our booth is. Debbie and I get in a fight, and she threatens to leave. Then Crystal says no, you leave, and they kick me out. So then I
make me cry.
Sorry, I made Crystal cry one time.
He did make Crystal cry. That's how mean he is during setup.
What? Well, it's
He
you
made
know I
Crystal
have
cry.
I'm just like.
Mm-mm.
And then I'm like,
No,
well,
you were an ass that day.
Look
You
at the
were
coffee
an
booth.
absolute ass.
It's a very stressful time, and I'm not stressed out this week, which is great because we're not there.
But can I say something? My favorite thing is when it's time to break down, and I look over at Coffin Comics booth. They're done.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're already done, and we are looking like, what we take down now? What do we do now? That can't go here. So we're getting better, though. I really feel like we're getting better.
You just got to let the women run it, Billy.
I know.
Women run it.
Now, as someone else who people think is my wife is Crystal here. How did you and I meet?
Oh, okay.
What brought you to this fellowship?
Okay, first of all, in 2001, Rick brought me to a show in Chicago, and I thought, what is all this stuff? Now, my favorite thing I'm going to tell you right now was when I walked in the door in the Chaos booth. I wanted to be part of that group because they were rocking and screaming and partying. You had to have a special ticket. You had to know some people. But besides that, I thought maybe one day. So I was bored out of my mind. All these books, all this stuff. So Rick decides he needs to go to the restroom. So we go back. He goes back to the restroom. I'm standing against the wall with his backpack. And this guy across the way is flagging me. He's like waving at me. And I'm looking beside myself. I'm looking over here and he's waving. And then he signals me to come over. He goes, come here. And I was like, what? So I go over there. And he goes, here, can you come here and watch my booth? I went, what? He goes, come back here and watch my booth. I go, I don't know you. I gotta go to the bathroom, or he had to go somewhere. I'm like,
he had to go to the bathroom.
Right.
He always has to go to the
I had no clue who he is at that point. This was, like I said, I think it was 2000, 2001. No clue who he is whatsoever. So Rick comes out. I'm behind the booth. He goes, "What are you doing?" And I said, "The dude told me to watch his booth, and people are wanting to buy stuff. I don't know what to do with it." He goes, "You know who that is, don't you?" I went, "No, I don't." He goes, "Here, look, I got some of his books. I want to get him some." I go, I know I'm sitting here and I don't know what to do. So then at that time he comes back and he starts talking to me, and then we get to know each other, and that was it. From that point on, it wasn't about the comic books. It was about you met a friend, then you met family, and now the books are the bonus. It's the people you meet at these shows. And I have one of these gifts.
It's very true.
If I meet somebody one time, I'll always remember who they are, because it's so funny, because Billy will have people come over. He goes, Who's that? I go, remember that person bought this and they bought that. You know, they bought a lot of stuff, and you know, it just works out, and it's a good, you know, it's a good thing, and I enjoy it. I really do. I miss it this year. I was really teary-eyed because I was supposed to be in Florida. We were on our way to Florida on Tuesday, and we had some problems, and it was meant to be. So anyway, maybe next year.
Definitely next year. Now, Amanda, do you? Because I don't remember anybody except for my friends. You know, I have lots of acquaintances, right, honey? I have very few friends.
Yes, but I need to clarify that statement for you. You remember them, but you don't remember their name. But you see so many people, it's impossible for you to remember everybody's name.
Yeah.
There are people that, you know,
Right.
Brenda's a perfect example that she came back every year. She always spent time with you, so you eventually learned Brenda's name.
Well, I knew,
you know, there are
remember
people
Brenda
like
when
that.
she was a little kid. I love that family.
Exactly.
So,
See, there she is. So, and you know, and then those people become our friends. But you know, there's just too many people for you to remember everybody's name. But you do know when you've seen somebody before, and you know, you very rarely. How do I put this? You very rarely totally blank out on somebody that you, as long as you've actually spoken to them, and it wasn't like, you know, you had a big crowd and you just had to sign stuff quick.
But we also,
But if you've spoken to somebody, their face will be familiar to you again.
now, Amanda, you probably meet more people than all of us.
Absolutely.
I mean, Amanda, with all your, I mean, your insane success, all the mainstream stuff with with Harley Quinn and with Power Girl, and I mean, your amazing body with the Pro. How do you remember people, or do you get a blur? Does Jimmy remember them? How do you? Because if I was by myself, I would be lost.
He's really good at remembering people. He's great at remembering people. Unlike you, I remember faces. Like names, I just blank on, but faces I can remember. I you know, I can see people, you know, at conventions, and I'm like, I saw you at a convention. I can't remember what convention it was, but I know I saw you at one. The only time I ever get confused is when I see faces out of context. Like if I meet somebody at a convention, and then if I saw them, say, at the grocery store, I'd be like, you know, if you see people like in context, then you know it's easier to remember. But if you see them like outside of their environment that you're used to seeing them in, it gets really confusing. But you can always remember a face that you met. You know, that's how I am.
I think that's what I miss most about going to conventions is seeing those faces that you see every year, and they come up, and it's really the only time that they buy also, right? There's people that will only buy books in the comic shop. There's people that will only buy online, and then there's people that will only buy at conventions when they see you. So it's really kind of heartbreaking that we don't. What is that?
That is
hashtag save the duck stick. That we just did. Oh, a duck stick.
The flipping duck stick. Make the duck stick go away.
We're gonna bring we'll bring the duck stick back
it's
into
going to be firewood one of these days.
Again, my
girl, what's that?
Now, Joni and Jennifer, you ladies have your army. I mean, Jennifer, you have your Vandals, right? And Joni, you have your Joe Bros. What do you call them?
Joe Bro fam. I just
Joe
call
Bro
them.
fam. Jennifer, do you because you guys too, you see so many people. Do you remember do you remember the fans when you see them at their various conventions and stuff, and especially when you're doing the professional gigs and all? Is that, I mean, how is that? That's got to be tough, right?
Well, I guess the good thing about having mostly like online is you actually interact with a lot of your fans online. And so a lot of times I won't remember faces as well, or remember names as well, but I remember faces, and I can be like, oh yeah, we had this conversation about this and this, and you have a dog and you really like to play hockey. And like, I remember entire conversations that I've had with people, but we get to chat a lot more online with our fans too.
Yeah, agreed. I'm a face person. I remember faces, and like, thankfully my husband comes to conventions with me now, and he's really good at names. Because the moment he sees them, he's like, hey, what's your name? Oh, thanks so much for being here. He'll have a conversation while I'm signing something or taking a picture with somebody. So he'll start the conversation, remember their name for me. And then he's like, oh, this is blah, blah, blah. This is Joni. And then he'll introduce us. And then like he helps me remember, because I'll remember their faces all day. But it's the names that are hard. And they're like, their shirts change or their costumes change. And I'm like, what's your name? But yeah, faces are easy for me to remember. Yeah.
Now, do you guys have you ladies at these Comic Cons? Have you run into, and again, things have changed a lot. I don't know that about with Jennifer and with Joni with the cosplay that they do and all. But did you guys ever have experiences of experiencing misogyny? Not like you're the wife, right? Misogynistic type of people. Do you ever have guys bothering you, stalkers? I mean, you're all beautiful women, all of you. But did you ever have anything like that? Amanda, did you ever have a stalker or any of that weird guy that's always there? And
I mean, I've had like people ask for weird, like really weird sketch requests. And if they stalked me, I have no idea. They're really good because I have no idea if they are. But I've never. The one time that I've experienced misogyny, like when I was breaking into comic books. I went into a comic book stores and all the guys laughed at me, like, "Oh my god, a chick throwing comics!" Oh, ha, ha. And I just sort of got that. I'm gonna show these motherfuckers. Yeah. That attitude that I adopted, and and I think, I'm pretty good at letting stuff roll off my back, so I don't remember a lot of it. But one does stand out to me. It was a comic creator. I'm not going to mention his name. I'm actually friendly with him now. But when I first met him, he said, because we all hung out together as a group. It was the, the Crusade and the Chaos and the Marvel Knights / event crowd. And he said, "Oh, you're one of those events Marvel Knight chicks."
Oh, chicks, and that was Frank Thierry. Everyone.
Shocking.
Frankie Finger.
You're about to get a text.
Sorry. Exactly. So I mean, for
why did you?
Gosh, he was like, sort of dismissing me as, as somebody who was just
a hanger on
out with people.
Wow. Oh, really?
Who introduced us? He said, no, she knows how to draw. She like, it's just like, oh no. And I remember I was so incensed about it, but years later, like I think years later, the guy sort of realized it, and he was really nice to me afterwards. He
can make up for it.
Well, you showed him that watch you wear, and he said, "See this watch, motherfucker."
So I think for me being, younger in the 90s.
And speaking of that, if I may, let me see. Okay.
Yes. It looks like a guppy.
Look at that beautiful baby.
Look how cute.
I don't know. I kind of look like a guppy. It's probably, and they spelled my name wrong.
That's why I was calling you Francesca.
No, they spelled the last name wrong, Billy.
Did they spell it?
Yeah.
Pulido. That's how Rick, Crystal's husband, says.
Oh my gosh.
Rick mispronounces every last
name.
That's the best.
How does he say the Pulido's last name?
Pulido.
What?
He calls him Brian Pulido.
Yeah, Pulido.
He is a huge fan. But he says everyone. What does he say? He just says.
For Benitez, Joe Benitez, he calls him Benitez.
Benitez.
It's funny.
So okay, Fran.
I remember being, that young with my guppy face, and I wasn't used to dudes speaking to me in a specific way, right? So you know, like when in the beginning when guys would come up and they'd be like, "Are you Lady Death?" And I'm like, "No, no, what?" Right? And yeah, so it was like I was kind of like offended at first. I'm like, no. And then over the years, you know, and then it would go into, "Are your boobs real?" You know, and there was just like questions and
forward.
huh?
So that's very forward.
It's part of being in a mostly male-dominated industry, right? So, and I happen to be female, and you know, like kind of on the okay-looking scale back then, and just like
Not
you know, so it's just kind of it's par for the course, but it's not everybody. And I just realized after a while it's not every dude that does that. It's just a small amount of dudes that do that. And I just learned to kind of take the power back after a while when they would be like, "Are your boobs natural?" I'm like, "I am Lady Death. They are supernatural." You know, like
yeah,
like learn to play and have fun, and that's really what it's about, is the playing and the having fun with everybody. So I just had to really kind of get over myself. But yeah.
How about you, Joni? Have you experienced that? I mean, before your husband throws someone through a window, have you, you know?
Oh, too many times. But it doesn't happen super often. But when it does, I mean, it kind of like sticks into your brain as a terrible memory. I remember when I first started cosplaying. I didn't have a booth yet even. I was basically a booth babe. You know, I would get people to come to the booth and, you know, introduce them to the people that did know what they were talking about, and then just kind of had fun with people. And I remember going to a convention, and it was one of my first ones. I was 19 at the time. And the showrunner, I don't think he's a showrunner anymore, thank goodness. But I remember him walking me around and introducing me to all these celebrities and all these stars. And, you know, it was cool at first, but one, I didn't ask to meet anybody, and I didn't know who a lot of these people were. They were all male. And after about like the 5th or 6th one, I realized he was introducing me to these people as basically their entertainment. And they're like, "Oh, this is..." Yeah, they're like, "Oh, this is Tony. Yeah, she's here all weekend. She's, you know, hanging out, super friendly. Yeah, get to know each other." And I'm like, "I don't know you. I'm not interested." Like, so I never went back to that convention. I obviously wasn't invited back because I was like, "Nope, that's not for me. Sorry."
Oh, what a dick.
But yeah, I was not happy with that. Yeah. So, sorry, what, Amanda?
Not what you were there for.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just because I'm in, you know, an outfit that's a nice, attractive outfit or something, that doesn't mean I'm there for anyone's entertainment. Like, no, it was such an uncomfortable thing. And especially being that young, thankfully, like, you know, now I know how to handle that. I'm like, hell no. But back then you have to be shy and kind and, you know, charming and like, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you." Like, you know, and so that was probably one of my least favorite experiences was being paraded around as basically an item of entertainment. And I was just not cool with that, but it's never happened again, thankfully. But it just doesn't happen that often, thankfully.
How about you, Jennifer? I mean, you're tough as nails, but have you had experienced those things, Jen? Because Amanda, do you remember when we first met Jen? And we were in Albuquerque, and we all went to the casino. We went to dinner. We went to the casino. Like Jimmy, I think Jimmy's like, you hang out with us, because they didn't, right, Jen? You guys,
I was adopted very quickly into your circle of people. So yeah, the second convention I ever went to, I was Western Wonder Woman, and Billy was like, "Love your costume. Okay, now we're hanging out and stuff. You're part of the group." And I was like, "Okay, this is awesome." So yeah.
But did you? What about problems like, again, and you read about this all the time with cosplayers with the stalkers and just the rude shit that goes on. Have you had to experience anything like that?
Well, I have definitely had a stalker, so that was interesting. He showed up to my house, so that was really interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, most of the harassment that I receive is online. I actually haven't had really any problems in person, like not to my face. A lot of people get the, oh my God, you actually make the costumes? Oh my God, you actually do the photography? And it's like, yeah, I can like be hot and be talented at the same time. You know, that's crazy, I know. But yeah, most of the stuff it's online. People on your Instagram leaving you like rude comments, making fun of you, getting like dick pics all the time.
Oh my
It's just,
God.
like, really, people like something they would never ever do to you in person.
Yeah.
Oh no, I get them from Frank Thierry.
Yeah.
The best.
I get Frank Thierry sends me this, Amanda, like the little emoji of the like the cartoon of whatever it is. What's that called? An emoji of this.
Yeah.
Like, every day.
Yeah.
It's called the middle finger.
Yeah, he sent me because I call him. Apparently, Frank works late, and he can't talk to Frank before 10 o'clock in the morning. And I get up real early, so I call him like 8:30, and he's like, asshole.
I quintessential Frank picture, but I have to go like to the studio and grab my phone to show it to you.
Well, go do it.
I'll be right.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
what are we gonna see?
She said she has a picture of Frank Thierry, so it's just good to talk about.
What kind of picture,
Do you
though?
know? I don't. Do you know Francisca?
Mhm. See, you almost did it again.
I know why I'm
You
doing
almost
it.
did it
I
again.
know Francesco. That's why.
You wait till I see you.
Oh,
Oh, calm down.
Deb, she's gonna hit me. You gonna protect me?
No, she's not. Deb's not going to protect you.
So now we know.
Deb's going to join the slap fest.
See, here's the crazy thing: is that with Francisca, the Chaos and the Coffin Comics crew, you guys like beat people up.
Yeah.
That first convention, you guys
Yes.
kicked the crap out of a couple of guys.
Well, what happened was like one San Diego, somebody was illegally selling Stephen Hughes's artwork. So I remember like setting stuff up at the booth, and like Brian and Steven were like walking by and they're all pissed. I was like, I wonder what's going on there. And then all of a sudden I see like Brian and Steven getting escorted out, hands behind the back. I'm like, oh. And they just went up and they just railed to this guy for stealing Steven's artwork. And, it's just like, God rest his soul, Stephen Hughes. And that was his artwork. We believe that artwork belongs to the artist. So the art should always be returned back to the artist. It's not ours.
Yeah.
It's the artist. So somebody taking Stephen's artwork to us was just like, nah. So yeah, that was the old days, right?
Yeah, the bad old days. Yeah, because they were selling it too, right?
Oh, they were selling it, that's the thing that got us all pissed off. So we went, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right, Death Metal Hero. But,
So there's just like, if something's wrong to us, we would always be like, yeah, we're kick it ass.
and that's how Brian was. Brian's like, we beat the shit out of those guys. Him and Steven beat up like 2 or 3 guys.
It was great.
And
You got to be a stand for your art, people.
you got to
It's yours. You created it. It's yours.
Yeah. All right, Amanda. What do you got?
What do we got?
Hang on.
What do we got? Wait, what is it? Make it
You got it,
bigger.
Billy, or you want to make it bigger?
Oh, there it
Ah.
That's the best.
Frankie Finger.
Wow.
Boo.
My friend Patrick, I believe, took it, but he sent it to me to cheer us up, to cheer Jimmy up the other day, and it's the quintessential Frank picture.
It's the Frank picture. Absolutely. So we had a little Debbie caused a fight too at Comic-Con.
Go girl.
Wait, caused one or got dragged into one?
It's not true.
It is true. You said no. It was Debbie and Lauren actually. Do you want to tell that story?
Honey, nobody caused the fight except the idiots that did what they did, and of course my husband, who's never afraid to kick the crap out of anyone. So my sister and I
was being a gentleman, Amanda.
you were protecting us, absolutely, in the beginning.
In the beginning.
So I don't. What year was it? I don't even.
98. Lauren was 13.
Yeah, so Lauren was working the booth with us. Was that the Battle Books year?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
she was actually handling a booth by herself at 13, just so that you know how
Wow.
it was. So we were walking back to the
Weston.
The Weston.
We're at the Weston. It's the one year we didn't get into the Marriott.
The Weston Horton Plaza.
Yeah.
Screw you for always getting into the Marriott.
I know.
Right?
So we didn't get into the Marriott that year. So we were walking up. What is that? Is that First Avenue? I don't even know. Whatever it is. We walked out and walked straight up to the Weston Horton Plaza. And I think Billy had the cash box, right?
Yes, I did.
So Lauren and I were talking about what we were going to do the next day. And Billy was sort of next to us, but a little behind us. And then behind all of us were these two very drunk gentlemen. Well, not gentlemen, men.
Dickheads.
And apparently they were speaking disgustingly, is that the right word? About my sister.
That's the word.
Or maybe it was the both of us. I think it was more centered on her. And Billy kind of walked up to them and said, "They're with me. I'd really appreciate it if you cut it out." And they kind of walked with us the whole way. And Billy
This
was
isn't
like,
the
"All
daylight.
right,
This is at 7 o'clock, Francisca. It's the daylight in the gas lamp.
Yeah.
Right. And one of them had to be 6'4", easy, and wide. He looked like a linebacker basically. And they kind of passed a couple more remarks, and that's when Billy kind of said, do me a favor, dude. He called her he's always called her his sister. He was like, leave my sister alone. She's only 13. Cut it out. And they're like, all right, we're sorry. And just as we were about to part ways, he puts his arm around Billy and right in his ear says, "But she does have a really fine ass." And oops, sorry.
Oh, she was just about to show us.
And Billy lost it. So he threw the cash box. Money went everywhere.
No.
Trying to fix this.
I'm
like, that's kind of why we're here, honey. Right? To pay for everything. And he goes at it. Now, for those of you that don't know, Billy was in the Army when we were dating. And he came back from the Army with this trick that he liked to use. So and I know this is kind of a story within a story, but bear with me. So while Billy was in the Army, I was bartending to keep myself busy on the weekends. I had a regular job during the week. I'm like, what am I doing with myself on the weekends while he's in training? So my apartment was above an Australian bar, and the guy asked if I wanted to learn to bartend, and I said yes. So now I'm bartending every weekend. So Billy comes back from the Army and says, "You're quitting that job, right?" And I went, "No way, the money's too good." So he would come to the bar while I was working on the weekends and help the bouncer with his new little trick. So the minute a fight would break out, no matter where Billy was in the bar, suddenly he was in the middle of the fight. It didn't matter. He had all this testosterone from whatever training he did. And this move that they taught him, I don't know, that's probably not technique, I don't know what the right terminology is, was able to end a fight like that. And he loved to use it and escort the gentleman out. And it was by basically grabbing them by the jugular.
Yeah.
As long as he could reach their jugular, he was in the process of escorting them out. And I would have these discussions that you're not an employee. If you get hurt, there's no insurance, there's no compensation.
It's a Ranger chokehold.
Your ass is going to the hospital by yourself, because I'm not going, because that was me. So, and there's a couple fun stories that have to do with that whole period of our lives. But now, fast forward to 6'4" drunk man and Billy rolling around outside of the Weston Horton Plaza, because
right in the
Billy-
front, Fran. There's no valets, no
Yeah,
security
there
at
was
this point.
no one there. I've never been there before sunset. There was no valet, no security, no. So Lauren and I are picking up money and putting it back in the cash box. We get the money back in the cash box, and I send her back into the lobby. And I'm looking around and I'm going, this is the longest fight he's ever been in. And just as I'm having that thought, I hear, oh, so you're biting me now, from Billy.
Kissily bit me. He was biting me in the arm.
So, and at that point, they were by a big, huge planter, and this guy is on top of him, biting him.
Biting me, Amanda.
And I'm sitting here going, when is the move happening so this can just be over? Done. And no soon, and it was like it's still playing in slow motion in my head. This guy like comes up off the ground and is ready to pummel him, and that was his opening. And I see, and it's almost like a comic book, right? I see the hands come up and go right around the guy's jugular, and I just turned around and went, oh, it's over now, bye, and I left. And I hear people in the background going, let go of him, he can't breathe, let go of him. And
You're killing him. And I'm like, well, what? This guy attacked me.
So we go inside. I think it was my birthday that year too.
It was my birthday.
It was one of our birthdays.
My birthday.
Well, I'm August.
Nobody's
It was the day before Jimmy's birthday.
I think it was Amanda's birthday.
No, it was my birthday.
So we get back up to the hotel room, and Billy's left, his drawing hand, his autographing hand,
No.
left hand is shredded from this guy's teeth. Just shredded.
Dude,
I'm like,
I was punching him.
Billy, we need to go to the hospital. You need to have that looked at. And how the hell are you going to be signing all weekend? Oh my God, this is a disaster. And he says, well, if I have to go get that looked at, what about this? And he pulls up his arm, the sleeve of his shirt, and there is a perfect imprint of the guy's every tooth. And he still has the scar.
Show us.
We're never getting out of the hospital.
You still have the scar, Billy?
Yeah, you can see it. I don't think you'll be able to see it on camera, but it's got
Every tooth broke the skin. Every tooth. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So Amanda, here's the story. So we go to the hospital. I had to get. Did I get stitches again? Probably, right? In my hand. No, here. I got stitches.
No, you didn't get stitches in anything. You had, but you were bandaged to the hilt. They cleaned out your hand, and they cleaned this out. They said there's not enough there to stitch, and it didn't. It broke the skin, but it didn't penetrate where it would need to be stitched. It was going to heal okay. But of course, the next day you got your whole left hand bandaged. You got a big bandage around your arm. You looked like you'd been through the war.
So here's a funny story, Amanda. So we're walking back because everyone's going to Dick's or something. So I'm like, well, I want to go out now. Let's go out.
Dick's.
So Debbie and I are walking, and who the first two people we see, Amanda, is Tim Townsend and Dan Panosian, the two biggest guys. And they're like, what happened to you? I'm like, where the fuck were you guys 2 hours ago? All the people I can run into YouTube. You know, here these giants, you know what I mean? It was funny.
Could have used their help. That's
Back
in the old days. Now there's just so many people at San Diego that you just can't walk down the street. So you're just like, there's not a lot of alone time there anymore.
Yep. I walked down the street. Kissel, do you remember that time we were walking down the street and I forgot my belt and my pants fell down?
Yes, I do. And your belt looped all the way. You're losing your pants. You're losing your pants.
And I'm just walking and they damn pants fell right down.
Down.
What were you saying, Amanda?
I was gonna. I can't remember what I was saying. When we used to go to San Diego, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was like a ghost town at night. It was only, people from Comic-Con were there, and it was so much less people, and you could just walk into whatever bar or restaurant you wanted to without even waiting. It was a completely different thing.
Now,
you could overwhelmed the convention center easily.
Yeah.
So
In 90, I have video footage of a friend of mine and we went to San Diego Comic-Con in 92. Brian was set up with his little 3-foot table at the time. So we went to go visit him. And it's just footage of us walking up. We're just buying a ticket. And it was just a little, like the little plastic lanyard. And it just had the little San Diego thing. We pinned it on. And then we just walked in. It was like, there's no line. There was nothing. So it was so different. So it was fun having that footage. I got to find it and post it.
You got to.
Different time.
Yeah. And we're going to show that video again from 94. Amanda, I have video of Debbie and Francisca.
Oh, God, not again.
But Jennifer.
I know, right? I feel the same way.
It's adorable. And Jennifer and Joni, we got some questions here. And I think someone asked, what was, and I know you've been answering in the thing, but someone says, what's your most challenging cosplays that you guys have made, especially for the shows? When there's so many people and you've got to get ready for the con, and I don't know if you guys get up super early, to get set up. And what's your day like, at a show when because you're on, you guys are on.
Yeah. Well, Harley Quinn always takes forever because of all the makeup, and I try to get my face like as white as possible. So that's layers and layers and layers, and then powder on top of powder on top of powder. And so my burlesque Harley Quinn I did, that was also a corset. So wearing a corset for like 10 hours straight is not any fun, especially when you wake up, 7 o'clock in the morning to do your makeup. Raven also, that one's pretty easy to wear, but again, with the white face makeup, that always takes a while. And my Zatanna was probably my hardest costume that I made, just because I made the top hat from scratch. And that was like one of my first experiences making something structured out of craft foam. And so that took like some trial and error. And again, I keep saying I'm never going to make a costume with a corset ever again. And then like every single costume I make has a corset.
Of course. Now, I thought you girls love wearing like corsets and high heels, 4-inch heels and all. Don't you girls love that?
They look amazing. I mean, I love the way it looks, but you can't really bend over or, move at all.
I thought Amanda told me that all girls love wearing that, and they prefer to wear 4-inch heels on cement and stuff. Isn't that true, Amanda?
I like Joni's face. She's like, what?
I just remember back in the day, we would get dressed. I mean, like get dressed up for cons. So like I'd wear the highest heels and the coolest outfits, and that's what it was all about. And now I'm like, I wonder if I can get these Vionic flip-flops in a higher so that I can still look like I'm sort of fashionable, but not die.
Yeah.
Like it's much girls, when you get near your 60s like me, it gets a little harder. So enjoy it. Those high heels.
I remember asking, okay, right, honey? I say.
I was just gonna say I wear Vionics too. So
are they the best?
It sucks.
But I'm like, honey, well, aren't you gonna wear your heels today? She's like, you wear them.
That's fair.
I wore them already. I'm done. I'm like, what do you mean? You look so nice. Don't you like wearing that? She's like, no.
I bring them in my tote bag now.
Yeah.
And flip flops behind the booth. And if we have to go for something, then occasionally I will break them out, or if we're going out to dinner to a nice place afterwards. But I maybe wear heels twice during San Diego Comic-Con now.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky.
I have 3 sets of shoes in my bag. 3 sets I change up.
I believe you're always so prepared.
Now, Joni, we see you walking around with those heels. That's, holy crap.
It's not my favorite. If I'm working at a booth, it's funny because I'm opposite. If I'm working at a booth, I have the heels on so I can take pictures with people. But if I go out, I usually bring like this hoodie of some sort and then some comfy shoes, and then I just shuffle my way out so I can go pee in peace and I can go say hi to people in peace. But yeah, behind the booth, I'm like, I don't have to breathe or anything, and I can stand up straight, and I have these nice shoes on. They're very comfortable, let me tell you.
My first costume I ever wore to a convention, first day, was the Black Queen Celine from the Hellfire Club. And I was wearing thigh-high, huge platform shoes, and I was like, man, I look so hot. So corset as well. And I was like, I look so hot. After like 3 hours, I had to just take them off. My feet hurt so bad. And I was like, well, now I know. Walking around for 3 hours in platform shoes, not a good idea.
Yeah. When you finally relax and you like curl your feet and they just crack into place and you're like, I should stop wearing these.
But they look so good.
They do look good.
Costumes are not supposed to be functional.
No, nor comfortable, but you just do it anyways. It looks good.
But how far, I mean, with cosplay, I noticed that cosplayers can't even really walk that far, right? It's just like 2 steps. Can I take a picture? 2 steps. Yeah. Can I take a picture? Or you just stand there and it's just, especially at San Diego, it's just like hundreds of people glomming around for a picture. And I could tell I'm older because I'm to the point now where we're in Debbie, what are you guys? What are we? Hall B?
We're hall
B.
B2C.
What are we? We're C.
B2C entrance. We're kind of between the 2 halls.
So we're all the way there. And the bathroom that I use is all the way down on the other side by Artist Alley because it has the shortest line. Otherwise, you're in the bathroom for an hour. But just walking past all your amazing costumes that all the cosplayers, I'm just trying to get to the bathroom. So I'm just trying to get through the crowds, and I'm just like cranking the road. I'm like, move! I gotta pee. So God bless you guys for being able to just be fabulous and beautiful and representing all day and just getting pictures taken. It's amazing, and I'm just trying to go pee.
And while everybody photographs you. And
it's
Jennifer,
it's a lot of work.
I met you, I believe, at the Invicta party in your Catwoman costume, and to date I have neither before nor after have I ever seen a Catwoman as stunningly beautiful as you, Jennifer.
Oh, thank you. I cried when I met Adam Hughes, and I cried whenever I met Jim Lee. Both times I was dressed as Catwoman, and so they always talk about how much
Catwoman.
Catwoman over there.
Baby.
Catwoman.
I'm a man, baby. Catman. Sorry.
You need to wear that costume. I must see it.
I'll be Catman. Catman do.
When are you ladies going to do Lady Death?
So what?
When are either one of you lovely ladies going to do Lady Death?
Dude, I've been wanting to for a long time. Like, I want to do Purgatory and Lady Death. I want like the whole trifecta of these like strong women, but finding someone to paint me white, and it takes a long time to paint me white because my legs are so brown, but the rest of me is like not as brown. So like trying to get that gradient going, it's tough, but I want it to be good. It has to be perfect. It has to have the right photographer, everything. Cause things that are precious to my heart, I want to be done to perfection. So
you have to get the wig right for sure. And I suck at styling wigs, but Lady Death is actually one of my most like requested costumes. People ask me all the time.
One thing that I noticed that cosplayers have been doing just to make it easier, because if you don't do it, then over the 25 years we've noticed that it's just like the last half hour of a convention, and we're like, okay, the Lady Death should be coming now, because like you said, it just takes so long to perfect the body. What we've been noticing over the last few years is ladies taking the white body stockings. And then just cutting that off, and then just blending it and having the cape the thing that differentiates. And then
my only thing with that is it ruins your cleavage. Like you can't see your cleavage. So
good cleavage is a thing.
Yeah, I gotta have it. So I'd rather just spend the hours body painting if I can.
Now, what is the body paint you guys use? Like Joni, you said you're going to be she. You showed the costume. With Jennifer, with the Harley that you do. When you put the white paint on, because honey, right? How many she cosplayers have we seen, and they use like that grease paint, and it gets thick and cakey and it cracks?
No.
I mean, what do you guys use for that, for the white? And is it the same for the face and the body?
No, so body paint's very different for me. Like, I'll get airbrushed body paint. That's different.
Wow.
But for just your face, use skin products that are made for your skin, because if you just use that grease paint, your skin will hate you and it'll suffocate, and it's just awful, and I hate it. But I just use the whitest face makeup that I can find, because I mean, it looks white on me, and then I'll use a white powder and I'll just pat that down. But make sure you put a primer on, because that'll keep it from like those nasty creases and soaking into your skin. And it's a process, but it'll last a lot longer, and it'll be a lot more comfortable on your skin if you use skin products.
Yes,
you guys. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have 1% on my little device. So if I disappear, I just want to let you know that I love you all, and you guys are wonderful.
You're wonderful.
We love you too, Amanda. Thank you. No,
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. I know how busy you are, and I know you're not sleeping this whole week, and we love you so much.
Give Jimmy a big hug for us. I love you.
Yeah. Yes. Hugs to both.
Buddy.
Miss you guys.
So I'm just
Okay. All right. Well, before you do, and I mean, we're coming on to the end, because you ladies have been on with us for an hour and 46 minutes already, and we really appreciate that. This is so much fun. But if you can, I'd love to show that video again, Niall, if we can.
You want me to play that?
Yeah, and I want Amanda to see this. And Amanda,
why?
It's a time capsule from NBC when they covered San Diego, and you're going to see Debbie and you're going to see Francisca, and it just shows the different perception of what Comic-Con was and women in comics at that 26 years ago now.
I feel old.
Ancient.
Oh, we just lost her.
Oh.
We lost her? Oh, okay. Then we have to play that. We lost her. All right.
She's
Now,
probably watching now.
What?
You might be watching.
We'll play it. You want to play it? You want me to play it?
All right, we'll play. Oh, sure. Want to play
No,
it?
that's okay. You don't have to play it.
Yeah.
Sure. I
We can
won't.
talk about it. We don't need to cringe again. What's that word? What are they? That's that cool word now.
The Squash Show says roll it, so we'll roll it.
Oh.
From KNSD,
I just like the intro.
Denise Yamada, Roland Smith, and Joe Lazura Weather. KNSD First News at 4.
Hello, everyone. I'm Margaret Radford in for Denise Yamada. Move over Superman. It no longer takes a male superhero to knock down the enemy. We visited the San Diego Comic Convention today and found that more and more comic heroes have brawn, brains, and breath. The comic convention always draws a crowd. People can't wait to get their hands on Superman, Spider-Man, and she. She? Her name means death in Japanese, and she's hot.
Because she's not a bimbo. She has intelligence, she has depth, she does not have the balloon boobs and the overly curvaceous body. She's realistic.
Some people
hashtag.
But the fact is, readers love her. And a growing number of fit and mighty don't mess with me powerhouses.
Oh yeah, I like tougher women, you know. I'm not explaining, like more independent type women.
The independence of them, because they don't need a man to bring them through everything. So.
Lady Death certainly doesn't solve problems. In one obvious way, she stands out from the others.
Yeah, very well endowed. Very much so. We hear everything from does Lady Death's back hurt, and all sorts of other rude things. But once they read the story, they realize that she's very cool and she's more than a breast or two breasts or just one big huge one.
The stories are very well written. They give them things that weren't there 20 years ago.
Probably not the best.
Still the sex is there because sex sells.
But their creators, nearly all men, deny practicing a sex sells strategy.
She does show skin, but I think tastefully. I mean, I'm going to keep the comic book tasteful. Personally, and that there's nothing more beautiful in the whole world than the female form.
Wonder Woman has kept her form for some 50-some years, but some things never change. Teen boys are the primary readers of comic books, and many don't really like girls.
I think that there is a little bit more acceptance for female heroes than there was, but still it's not an equivalent balance. I think it's reflective of our readership and sometimes of our creative pool, still being primarily male.
Then again, Superman never had a swimsuit issue, and Lady Death does.
Boom.
The San Diego Comic Convention runs through Sunday.
Incredible.
Yeah, I could just watch that forever.
I could do without it.
Or just
what's interesting is that for us, I see we have such a large female reader base, which I think you guys probably do too. So it's funny. It's funny looking back at that and seeing that they're saying it's teen boys. And for us, our demographic skews older, male and female.
Yeah.
So we don't have a lot of teenage boys that don't like sex.
Right. Girls, they don't like girls.
It's like they don't like girls.
Well,
Can you imagine? I'm sorry, Francisca. Can you imagine a newscaster trying to open up with the line with bronze, brain, and breasts? Now,
not today.
Oh, you can't. Not at all.
And hissy fit? Oh my God.
Not today.
Well, there's a few things, and Debbie's like, she doesn't have the curvaceous feature of the
Thank you,
balloon.
Drew.
And of course, they showed the poster that I did that I made her overly curvaceous, the one behind me, for sale. I'm going to sell that, because she isn't very, she's not very big. She's more, I want her more like a dancer's body. But for the poster, and heck, Francisca, we sold 2,000 posters that weekend. Boom.
Well, here's the thing. It's just like it's comics, right? So everybody's super fantastic, right? It's just like, it's not like the women are all gorgeous and built wonderfully, and then the men are all like thin and, it's just like the men are hot, right? It's just like Hulk's massive. Conan is beautiful. It's just like everybody's over the top. If we want normal, we'll go grocery shopping. We don't. We want the extraordinary. We want the heroes and we want something that's not us.
Mundane.
Right.
Mundane. I want super awesome.
And I don't know if those of you have been to Comic-Con, if you guys realize DC Comics, the booth still plays that same friggin' music. Same song over and over and over again for friggin' days.
That's about it.
So, we had another question here, and it's up a bit. But Jennifer and Joni, you had mentioned, and Jennifer, I know you do a lot of like with the Harley and stuff. You have spray makeup, so it's makeup in an airbrush, and you're literally do you take a compressor with you when you go to these conventions and do that whole thing and spray it?
You can, but I don't. I usually just do like my face. Like she said, I use Ben Nye's like clown white makeup, and so it's more of like a cream, and I just layer that on. But then it's all about the setting powder, just powder, layer and layer and layer and layer. And when I did Harley at New York, I just did the powder on my whole body, and that turned out really well, especially in pictures. But sometimes if I'm doing like a photo shoot at home, I just Photoshop my skin white.
Yeah, so much easier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Photoshop. Yes. Well, I don't know, Niall. Do you have anything? We're coming on 2 hours with these.
I know, 2 hours.
I'm getting hungry.
We do have just one question left for Joni and Jennifer. It came from TJ, who's just asking for cosplayers out there and stuff. Is Patreon a good tool for obviously selling your products, doing things, and helping to fund what you guys do?
I think it kind of depends on your style. OnlyFans has actually become really, really popular recently.
Yes.
My OnlyFans is very successful. I actually temporarily put down my Patreon just because I was having a hard time keeping up with all the photo shoots and all the prints and stuff every month, like handling both. But I think a lot of people choose Patreon just to deliver high-res stuff and do their prints and exclusive stuff like that. Whereas OnlyFans is generally more casual or letting people buy. Actually, Joni's the one that got me into OnlyFans. So
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I actually really like OnlyFans now. Mine's free, and I just sell sets on there for anybody that wants to pick and choose like what they want to buy.
Yeah, it's great for digital content. So it just depends on like, do you want to, deliver physical content or digital content? It really depends on like the amount of work you want to do, I guess. Like Patreon's same here. Like Patreon's kind of hard for me too, just because there's so much that you have to take into account and then produce and then ship out, because it's a monthly thing. So, but if you're doing a monthly thing, it works pretty well. But it just depends on your style, what you're doing, what kind of exposure you need or want, and ease of use, because shipping with Patreon is difficult.
Yeah, the system is not very well set up for it either. They don't make that very easy. But my biggest thing why I switched away from Patreon is the monthly deadlines. Because with me, that I make a costume, shoot it myself, edit everything, deliver, plus on top of prints, that was so much work in 30 days. And then you give it to those people, and then it's basically like expired content after that month is over. So then you're like, well, I just did all this work in 30 days, and now I can't really ever show anybody any of this stuff anymore. So that's OnlyFans is nice. You can leave it up there for as long as you want. You can put timers on there if you want. You can make things exclusive. With mine being free, sometimes stuff is exclusive, and then sometimes I just post it later. But the sets that I sell are exclusive, and sometimes, like I said, I can choose to leave them up there for 30 days like Patreon, or I can just leave them up there indefinitely. For anybody new comes, they have the ability to like purchase it there as well. So.
And you can pick the content that you want, which is cool too. Like Patreon, for me, I have themes, and it's a monthly theme, and that's what you're gonna get. But like OnlyFans, if they want Harley Quinn this day, or if they want Vampirella this day, you can choose and pick what you want. It's pretty nice. So those two are my top ones that I use. But yeah, same with Jennifer. I am a huge fan of OnlyFans.
Well, you stream on Twitch a lot too, right?
Yes, yeah. Twitch is different, but yes.
Yeah, it's definitely different. But that's why I kind of like OnlyFans is you can live stream on there too.
Yes.
And it's nice with the tipping system, because if somebody just really, really likes your work, or you post like Instagram, it's like Instagram and Twitch, but people can actually tip you if they really like your content as well. So yeah, it's totally different, but I am really enjoying OnlyFans.
Yeah. Now, what's your OnlyFans, ladies? What is your OnlyFans link? What is it?
It's here, I'll put it in the chat. It's onlyfans.com/JoniBrosis.
Okay. And Jennifer?
Yeah, it's the same, just onlyfans.com/Jennifer Van Damsel.
Awesome. And now Francisca and Francisca, I know that you guys are doing Comic-Con online. Are you
doing our Comic-Con online right now? So we're doing our Comic-Con at home, San Diego Comic-Con at home. So you can check out all the fun stuff that we have available. And then tomorrow and Friday at 4 p.m., we open up what's known as the vault. And we sequester away like really low numbers, hard to find books. And occasionally Brian will bring them up, and we open up the vault for an hour. So Thursday and Friday from 4 to 5, the vault's open. It's really one-of-a-kind book. It's not one of a kind, but it's one issue that's left that we have, and it's a very low number, so you can just jump on board and get it. And then we have our books that we would have had at San Diego if San Diego was happening. We have those available. So I'm thankful that San Diego gave everybody this platform to be able to come out and still be together and, see each other, although not physically, and I'm not hugging the hell out of y'all. But we still get to sell our wares, so that's really awesome. We get to share our cool stuff with everybody, and and then our next Lady Death Kickstarter is coming out in August. We've fulfilled 3 Kickstarters already this year, so we're rocking it.
Now, Francisca, that is 4 p.m. Pacific daylight time, correct?
I think
time.
I think we're Pacific now. We're in Arizona.
Yeah, it's the and it's coffincomics.com. Is that how they get to it? To and slash store?
That's the website. The store is coffincomicsshop.com. Come see what we have.
Awesome. And Kissel, how you enjoy? Now, what are you gonna do for your vacation? You got skunked on two weeks.
Oh,
Florida, your Florida trip, and your San Diego trip.
Yeah, I'm not gonna really do much of anything. I have a lot of little small projects I want to work on, so I'm probably gonna do that. I have a chainsaw project.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Get video.
Girl with a chainsaw. There's nothing. Well, besides the girl under a hood, that's kind of a
Get
thing.
your fan only set up.
Yeah.
With your
You should get
chainsaw.
you should get the fans only in it too, showing you cutting that stuff up and working on your car and everything.
Oh yeah.
What you gonna work on this week? Are you gonna work on the BMW or the Volkswagen? Or
No, I got to work on the Volkswagen.
Oh,
What do you have?
A Volkswagen Beetle.
What year?
Nice.
I have a 2005 and a 2001 that broke down on me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love Beetles. That was my first car. Was a 73.
Oh.
I'd love to get a 63 with the little round window, but that's the kind of girl I am.
My neighbor has a 73 Super Beetle and a 70 Squareback.
Yeah.
It's all low down, and yeah, they're pretty cool.
Nice.
So yeah, I've got some projects, but I would rather be out there hanging out with everybody. But I know we need to be safe.
Yep.
Yep.
It's only the right thing to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll see each other soon, and I love you guys.
Love you all too. Thank you guys for joining us. Joni and Jennifer, you guys have to come back on again.
Always. Hopefully next time I'll have my internet connection so you can see my face. When I was talking about cleavage, I was actually grabbing my boobs, and I'm like, no one can see me doing that. So next time.
We can imagine it.
I don't think the screen's big enough if I do that. I really don't. I mean, they're there.
Get it, girl.
So,
I think you're ready for OnlyFans. I think,
Yes, I would sign up right now.
Well, Joni, I'm glad I don't have to keep your secret anymore. I can tell Rick. He can tell everybody now the costume.
I'm shooting it on August 1st.
Awesome.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, we're so excited, and I'm really psyched about that cover. Deb, we got to talk to Joni about that cover.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Joni, are you on Facebook?
Yes, yeah. Billy's got me on Facebook.
I will friend you tonight, and we'll message and get the ball rolling tomorrow.
Yes, let's do it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
The Squish Show. I'm gonna miss
The Squish Show. Hey guys, we love you all. Ladies, thank you so much. Scala, this is fantastic.
Yes, this was fun.
Yep. It was fun.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for all the questions, you guys.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, remember, hashtag save the duck stick.
No, get rid of that.
Going
stick.
nowhere.
No.
It looks like something from Rocco's Modern Life.
It does.
No.
Ew. That's
Hello,
horrible.
Ew.
Hello, Heffa.
It's horrible. Look at him.
It's horrible.
Really,
really.
no one wants that.
Everyone wants that.
Hey there, Mr. Duck.
Mr. Duck. It's
Like that means like, hey, Billy, we had a great show tonight, didn't we, Billy?
Oh, we
We did, Mr. Duck. I love you, Billy.
It's like you didn't have a trade.
Don't you know? Don't you know it's the duck stick?
Remember, guys, hashtag save the duck stick. Save me.
Duck stick.
Save the duck stick, guys.
What
Well,
did
I
I
got-
do in a past life to deserve the flippin' duck stick? That's what I want.
Well, you're
One of
going
a
to
kind.
sleep with the duck stick tonight, honey. You're going to wake up right next to that.
No. Sorry.
I love that.
Debbie, you
thing.
could come over. Come on out.
Burn it.
Burn it. What?
Burn it.
No.
Escape the duck. Escape the duck.
Yeah. Hashtag escape the duck.
Escape the duck.
As long as you don't say kill the duck stick. Everybody
go.
loves
No,
the
I
duck.
won't kill it. I told you it's going to be
No.
firewood to burn.
No.
Don't you
Hide
touch.
the duck stick.
We're going to do a thing, and we're going to give him a name. I guess Save the Duck Stick is his name. Duck Stick.
It's duck stick.
Duck Stick. Look at that. Look at that
I
profile.
think when I was over your house, it's the first thing you showed me. I walked in like, hey, hi, oh, Debbie, oh, this is Niall and Frank and blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, look at my duck stick. He pulls out the duck stick. Like, oh, you got to see this. Look at my duck stick. I'm like, oh, well, that's great.
And the cool, and Joni, I'm going to be FedExing you the duck stick, and for the cover, you'll be posing with the duck stick.
No, she will
my
not.
God.
Who knows where that thing has been?
Yeah.
What?
Anyway,
it's not that kind of duck stick.
I don't believe you.
Just so night,
Karen.
God bless you, Debbie.
Hey, Karen. You guys have been wonderful.
Yeah, this was great.
And the duck stick does appear in She Return of the Warrior. Our hard covers, our soft covers, our metal covers, and thank you, Francisca, our jewel editions.
Woo!
Are all being printed right now. We'll get them in a few weeks, right, honey? And we'll pack them up and
get them out.
Get them out. Fulfill.
Oh, I'll be very busy fulfilling alone. I'll be sitting there in the fulfillment office. It's so much work, but I got to do it. If I don't do it, who's going to do it?
Debbie's going to be real busy.
Do you need some cheese with that one?
I don't know how you guys do it. I have the most amazing staff.
No, I don't do it. I don't do it.
It's a lot of work, you guys. God bless you.
I don't do that sort of thing.
He does not steal a package, this man. I have no idea what he's talking about. Me
That's
and
not
my
true.
boys. With
He's the creative.
Yeah.
It took me 2 hours to figure out how to get 3 prints in one sleeve.
That's right. See, well, what? But I don't know how to do those boxes. You know the boxes. So I can't do it if I don't know how to do it. But I'm good with the bubble wrap.
Your 14-year-old son knows how to do
Woo!
Well,
What's
I'm very
that thing
busy.
about you, Billy?
I'm drawing all day.
Oh,
That's
and it's fishing season. So, all right, you guys are wonderful. Thank you all, ladies. We hope you all come back. Please do. This was a lot of fun, Francisca. We hope that if we want to have Brian on this week. I know he's very busy, but if Brian might want to come on tomorrow again or Friday after his appearance, but we would love to have you join us again, maybe with Brian for when we launch Lady Death in August. It's Lady Death what?
What?
What's the name of the new Lady Death?
Oh, Treacherous Infamy.
Treacherous Infamy.
Yes.
And I can pronounce that one. I can't do the decimation one.
The Maleficent decimation we were getting wrong. So all of us at the office were like,
Deb, what's one of your favorite movies? Maleficent? What is it?
Maleficent.
Oh, I love
Maleficent.
Maleficent? And she's like, what? I'm like, Angelina Jolie with the horns.
Oh,
there you go.
Love it.
You guys are great. Brenda, we're sorry we're going to miss you this year. Brenda has been going to Comic-Con forever. And we'll see you guys all next year. Tomorrow we will be on with an all-star lineup. I think we've got Bo Smith, Chuck Dixon, Graham Nolan,
nice,
Sergio Calderero,
Paul Jenkins.
Fine. A men's night.
I beat Paul Jenkins in pool. What? Yes, I did.
And Paul Jenkins brags about his pool playing ability. So that's something. I can't wait to razzle him about that tomorrow. Jennifer, Joni, thank you so much. Joni and Fran, I know you guys have never been on the show before. Please come back.
Yes, so fun. I guess we could.
All right. You ask nice.
Yeah.
Debbie asks nice.
All right. And remember, send SDCC at home.
At home. Bye, everybody. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 p.m.
Be healthy, be well.
Yeah, love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you.
Thank you, everybody out there in the audience.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.